The Charles P. And last I left off, basically been putting on the little itty bitty guns that go throughout the ship. And I just started on one side and I'm working my way around on that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing on that. I got to go back in and there's a photo etch I got to add, and I'll show you. It shows when you build the smokestacks, it doesn't show you to put the little ladders on there. They go on each of the smokestacks, so I got to put that on. But anyway, I'm going to try to get all the little guns on here and try not to break off the little flaps that go on, the guard flaps on the side, which I've already knocked two of them off. But anyway, got them re-glued on. But anyway, slowly and slowly getting all the parts on. Got the top of the smokestacks, the little railing thing that goes on top. And we're just working our way. It's just easier if you put the parts on, then can be able to put the photo etch on. At least you don't have to fiddle with it or anything of that nature. But anyway, getting all the little piddly stuff on, and then hopefully we can start working on the bottom and getting the propellers on, and then get the hull together. One thing about this, it doesn't have a. And I looked through the kit here. It doesn't have a stand to put the ship on, so I'll build it to a point. It'll have to be put on a stand at a later date. But anyway, there's that. So more on that later this week. The Canada Air, and I pretty much got all of it sanded. I had to sand a little bit more on the nose, but I started putting on the first little light coat of paint, which is just cheap Duplicolor Arctic White. I think it makes one of my favorite enamel whites, because it just dries candy finish hard, and just good for decal. But anyway, got one light coat on there. I got to go back in and of course paint it again, but I wanted to get a coat on there. As you can see, I need to fill in a few little areas on the engines there, which will be filled in with Mr. Tulip. I better dig that out so it reminds me. We'll do a little tulip on there. Just hide a few little of the seams and blend everything in, and then shoot it with a coat of paint, and we'll be ready to rock and roll on that. Anyway, very fun. Decals will be a challenge because there are we'll have to cut them real close and get them on. I forgot the name of this one already. The Metro 3, I think that's what we're going to call it. Anyway, started putting the wings on it. It's casted really well. It's just a little flash that you got to take care of on the wings there. But anyway, not bad kit. So anyway, more on that later. We'll try to continue on with the airliner series this week. But I'm gonna have to. I gotta clean off the workbench. I'm getting to the point where I got little nubs from the screws and everything. I gotta clean this off. I'm gonna probably do that probably tomorrow. And that way I can try to streamline everything, ship, plane, and then the tank at the very end. But then speaking of the tank, I was working on the hydraulics, and I've been tinkering with it. I decided to go this route. Basically, it just works like so. And it holds it. It'll just has enough travel in there just to hold it up, and I think it looks pretty darn slick. Now I have to shorten everything, but I wanted to try it out. I'm going to actually duplicate this one on the other side, so it'll look cool too. But anyway, does work smooth. I was going to use some brass rod, but I decided styrene was easier, and I think it looks pretty darn slick that way. So anyway, there we have it. Hydraulics on it, and of course we got to add some I got to add some a little more detail on the arm there. But anyway, there's that. So hopefully we get a little more done on that. After I get the hydraulics on, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot here, but I'm actually going to take the V2, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue it down, and I'm just going to have to paint it after I get it assembled to the thing. That way I can be a little hard to mask it, but it'll be easier once it's all assembled, and won't have to fight it or scrape any of the paint off once you get it painted and assembled. But anyway, we got the hydraulics done on, or at least we're getting it done on, a little rocket mouse. So that's what I've got going on today. Little rocket mouse getting some hydraulics. We are painting and assembling some airliners. And the Charles P getting its little itty bitty gun. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.